They say fear is loud, but kindness is louder. Sometimes, the most heroic acts happen in the blink of an eye, turning a regular day into a miracle. Join us as we unlock a new chapter of real-life superheroes. These are the moments that restore our faith in humanity. In a world of gray, two petty thieves were about to cross a line. But when a greater evil appeared, they chose to shield the very man they intended to rob. In that heartbeat, labels vanished. And the instinct to protect life overrode the impulse to take. It reminds us that no one is beyond the reach of their own conscience. Even in the shadows, a light of justice can ignite. A maelstrom of white water trapped a lone soul against the jagged teeth of fate, turning a dream of adventure into a nightmare of survival. Through the roar of the falls, a symphony of rescuers coordinated a miracle, proving that when we align our purpose, the impossible bends. You are the rescuer and the rescued in the story of life. No current is stronger than the combined will of a united team. On a mechanical staircase that turned into a chaotic trap, guardians in uniform move with lightning precision to save the elderly from a devastating fall. It's a reminder that service is a calling that never sleeps, standing guard over our most vulnerable. When the sky turned into a watery grave, a community refused to let the current win, anchoring their souls together to snatch a stranger from the jaws of the flood. You realize then that we are never truly alone, as long as there is a hand willing to reach out. It is the silent pact of humanity. Compassion is the only bridge that never collapses in a storm. A man with no home gave everything to ensure 25 innocent lives didn't lose theirs in the smoke and flames. He didn't have much, but he had a heart larger than any mansion. It proves that wealth is measured by what you give, not what you own. A hero's soul is not defined by his status, but by his sacrifice. High above the world, where the air is thin and the margin for error is zero, a fallen climber found himself suspended between life and a frozen abyss. His brothers in arms didn't just pull a rope, they pulled a soul back to the sun, defying the gravity of despair. Our strength is not measured by how high we climb, but by how many we carry with us. We rise by lifting others from the edge of the void.
Yes, there you go. Yes. Yes.
Okay, relax now, relax now. Relax now.
Well done.
A fragile life hung by a thread, but a community formed a safety net of human kindness to catch a falling creature. It's a beautiful testament to the value we place on all living things. Our humanity is reflected in how we treat those who cannot thank us. Compassion extends to all souls, great and small. In a split second where fate held its breath, a man's reflexes became the barrier between life and tragedy for a trapped pet. It reminds us to stay vigilant, for heroism often lives in the split seconds of our daily lives. Presence of mind is a gift to the world. Gravity threatened to topple a giant, but the collective weight of human hearts held it steady, preventing a catastrophe on the open road. It's a literal manifestation of how we support the heavy burdens of those around us. When one of us wavers, we all step in to balance the world. We are the counterweight to each other's failures. In a critical clash of fire and water, a lone rider turned his jet ski into a weapon of mercy, using the ocean itself to extinguish a burning wreck. It was a dance of ingenuity and bravery, reminding us that we often have the tools to help right under our feet. Innovation is the child of courage. The ice shattered, and for a terrifying moment, the world went cold. But a stranger dove into the freezing dark without a second thought. To risk your own breath for a child's future is the highest form of love. It tells us that the warmth of a human heart is enough to thaw the coldest winter. A simple commute became a battle against the elements, but a sea of strangers became a tide of support, pushing through the deluge to keep a neighbor moving. It shows that small acts, when multiplied, can move mountains, or in this case, a city's spirit. A mountain of steel was no match for a valley of unified people, as hundreds pulled together to conquer the slippery slope of adversity. Each person was a single thread, but together they were an unbreakable cable of hope. We are capable of anything when we move as one. There is no burden too heavy for 1,000 hands. In a space where many looked away, one man stood as a wall between a predator and his prey, reclaiming safety for a frightened student. Courage isn't always fighting a war. Sometimes it's standing up in a crowd. We must be the voice for those who have been silenced. The protector needed protection, and a citizen stepped up to return the favor, towing a patrol car out of the winter's grip. It reminds us that kindness is a circular journey. Today you are the helper, tomorrow you may be helped. Community is a two-way street. Kindness knows no uniform. It only knows a common need. In the face of defiance in the open square, a quiet giant stood as a shield for those who serve. He de-escalated a storm with his mere presence, proving that peace is often preserved by those who don't seek a fight. Presence can be more powerful than force.
Oh shit, man. Oh shit.
A mother-to-be was trapped in a frozen grave, her strength failing. But gentleness met heavy machinery as rescuers preserved 2 lives with 1 act of mercy. The look of gratitude in an animal's eyes is a language all souls understand. Mercy is the most beautiful language of power. A silent threat sparked in the shadows, but a hero with 4 paws sensed the danger before the flame could roar. With instinctive wisdom, this dog saved a home from a fiery disaster. Heroes come in all shapes, sizes, and species. Loyalty sees what the human eye misses. He dove into an inferno where oxygen was a memory and fear was the only law. This wasn't about a pet, it was about a family member whose life was worth more than his own safety. Love doesn't calculate risks, it only knows devotion. Love is the only thing stronger than fire.
Hey, he got hurt, man.
In the cold, mechanical jaws of a closing elevator, a tiny life was moments away from being extinguished. With the instincts of a guardian, this young boy wrestled fate itself, severing the tether of doom to snatch a soul back from the brink. It reminds us that courage doesn't have an age limit. It only requires a heart that refuses to remain a spectator. Bravery is the split-second decision to be the shield for those who cannot protect themselves. A tiny life trembled on a high ledge, inches away from the void. With a bridge of cardboard and a heart of gold, a hero risked everything for the smallest among us. No life is too insignificant for a grand rescue. Compassion is measured by the care we give the smallest of creatures. When the sky turned into a watery grave and the earth vanished beneath the surge, one man stepped into the chaos for the smallest among us. He cradled a shivering kitten against his chest, shielding it from the world's fury as if it were the most precious treasure on earth. In that moment, the flood couldn't drown the warmth of human empathy. Kindness is the bridge we build when the world tries to wash everything away. Deep beneath the surface, where silence reigns, a sea turtle was bound by the ghost of human neglect, a lethal web of plastic. These divers didn't just cut the ropes, they restored the freedom of the ocean. The way the turtle lingered, circling in a silent dance of gratitude, proves that every living being speaks the language of the heart. When we heal nature, nature reaches back to touch our souls. Trapped in a dark, suffocating prison beneath the concrete, a kitten's cries were fading into silence. These rescuers didn't just use tools, they used ingenuity, fueled by compassion to breathe life back into the shadows. Watching that tiny creature emerge is a testament to the lengths we go to for a single heartbeat. No hole is too deep and no soul is too small to be worthy of a rescue. What started as a whimsical escape turned into a green entanglement on the lake. When the weeds threatened to hold them captive, the cavalry arrived on jet skis, pulling laughter back to the shore. It shows us that help arrives exactly when we realize we can't paddle alone anymore. We are never truly lost as long as someone is willing to reach for the rope. Hanging by a thread over the rushing currents, friendship was the only anchor left. One man became the living link between life and the abyss, refusing to let go until his brother was safe on solid ground. This is the definition of a bond that cannot be broken by the weight of the world. True friendship is being the hand that catches you when you've lost your footing. Seconds felt like hours as a runaway vehicle threatened to become a weapon of destruction. With a leap of faith that defied gravity and fear, this man put his body between the machine and the world. He chose risk over safety to protect a future he didn't even know. A hero is someone who runs toward the danger while the world is running away. In the frantic rush of the modern world, a fragile soul stood frozen by the tide of steel. One person stopped the clock, turning a chaotic street into a sanctuary of respect for our elders. It's a quiet revolution against the indifference of the crowd. Respect for the past is the only way to build a compassionate future. Where medicine reaches its limit, the soul of a creature takes over. In the heavy air of a hospital room, a horse leaned in, offering the silent, weightless comfort of a pure soul. It's a bond that proves we are all connected by a frequency of love that transcends species. Sometimes, a silent presence is the loudest form of healing. Communication isn't about the voice, it's about the effort to be understood. This little girl learned a new language just to tell a stranger, "I see you, and you matter." Her tiny hands moved in a dance that shattered the walls of silence. The most beautiful words are the ones spoken by the heart. Life dealt him a difficult hand, but for one afternoon, the world dealt him a symphony. The rhythm of the drums and the roar of the crowd turned a wheelchair into a throne of joy. They didn't just sing a song, they celebrated the triumph of a spirit that refuses to be broken. Music is the soul's way of reminding us that every life is worth a standing ovation. world stops spinning when two long separated souls finally collide. In the explosion of tears and the crushing strength of an embrace, we see the gravity of human longing. Every mile traveled was worth this single, breathless second of belonging. Home isn't a place, it's the person who refuses to let go. Isolation couldn't dampen the magic of turning a year older. When the gates were closed and the streets were empty, the sirens became a chorus of hope, proving that community can't be quarantined. This boy's smile was the light that cut through the darkness of a global shadow. Distance is just a test to see how far love can travel.
Wow. How was that? Special.
That was a great.
1,000 falls led to this one, wobbling triumph. For a parent, those first unstable steps are a giant leap into the future, a moment where pride and fear melt into pure emotion. It is the beginning of a journey where they will always be behind him, ready to catch. The smallest steps in the right direction often end up being the biggest steps of your life. Battling a silent enemy inside, he found an army of brothers outside his window. The flashing lights and the collective applause were a declaration of war against despair, a reminder that no one fights alone. He found the strength to keep going in the reflection of their respect. A warrior's strength is doubled when he knows he is backed by a brotherhood of light.
Sizin buraya gelmeniz yeter.
Gratitude is the harvest of a life spent planting seeds in young minds. When a teacher sees her classroom turn into a garden of flowers and appreciation, she realizes her lessons reach far beyond the textbooks. She didn't just teach subjects, she touched hearts. To the world, you may be just a teacher, but to your students, you are a hero. Fire knows no boundaries, and neither does a neighbor's concern. From above, a simple bucket of water became a lifeline, a humble shield against a growing inferno. In that split second, the floor between them vanished, and they became one unit of survival. Safety is a collective responsibility, and kindness is our first line of defense.